and this is the guest segment of the program. Today on the program, we're going to look at something that is very germane to the growth and development of any nation. When you ask me what is this, we talked about rate and tax. How much of this do we pay in Nigeria? And we keep on asking, why are all this infrastructure so dilapidated? Why are we not building another one? Good roads, schools, hospitals, even markets, and so on and so forth. These are sources of revenue for the government to build all these infrastructures. So we're going to put all these questions before our financial expert this morning, and is with me in the studio. His name is Mr. David Wotipe, and he's our financial expert. So my question is, taxes, rates, and infrastructural development. Are we going to juxtapose the two so that we can grow at the expected rate? But before then, say one thing to people at home.
Okay. Everyone, good morning to our people in Osun State. Good morning to Nigerians and every black nations anywhere in the world. It's a beautiful morning, and I pray it's going to be a good time, a very wonderful weekend for us.
Amen.
Taxes in any world, any part of the world, irrespective of the type of political system being practiced, is either a military system or democratic system, either it's a communism system or capitalist system. Every part of the world understand the fact that tax is just a levy on the citizens, basically to contribute, to show a contribution to the development of the economy.
Okay.
And you know, in many parts of the world, like ours too, taxes are used to balance the economy, to balance, sometimes to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. And taxes are also used to redistribute wealth, to redistribute some are not only wealth sometimes. So there are school of thought who believe that taxes are used to reduce poverty.
To reduce poverty, okay.
So in a nutshell, taxes are rates, special charges on citizens to show commitment to the development of an economy. So unlike the way taxes have been perceived by some people that it's a punishment, taxes are not punishment. Taxes are just a way of getting to know your contribution to the economy, to the society. Like I earlier said, it's also a way to redistribute wealth. If an economy is moving faster than others, tax can be used to balance it up. And sometimes tax is also an instrument to encourage some certain aspect of the sub-sector of the economy. Okay. Take for instance, if a government wants to increase agriculture and vis-a-vis increase employment generation, and such government discover that the best bet to do is to increase the rate of importation of such agricultural products in order to encourage the farmers and the players in the local market. You know, tax can be introduced to any foreign produce in order to discourage the locality from buying it. Once you discourage it because of high rate of tax, definitely want to look inward. Okay, if the imported one is going for, say for instance, 100 naira, and you can get a local one for the rate of 30, 40, 50 naira, and the same, somehow the same quality, you know, it speaks volume to anyone in the, any consumer, that if I can get the local one at a rate 30, 40% of the foreign one, I rather go. So in a way, such tax has been used to discourage importation, and encourage the
consumption of the local
product. So tax are used in different forms to help the economy.
Now, using taxes to develop economy, fine. We have observed and we have listened to stories, government by government, like in 2015 when the current government was coming on board, he said, oh, we're going to remove subsidy. I want to believe that paying subsidy or reducing it or removing it is a kind of helping the economy to grow. Now, what is the impact of either paid or removing it on the economy of the nation, and what are those things that is expected of us as gains if we don't pay it, if we pay it, and so on and so forth?
Okay, like I mentioned the other time, taxes are a way of redistributing wealth and all that. But when you are looking at subsidy,
okay,
subsidy is paid by a government,
okay,
on goods generally consumed
by the people.
By the people.
Okay.
And the concept of subsidy is just that instead of you to pay 200 naira on this, the government agrees to pay, for instance, 100 naira. Why you pay 100 naira for such thing?
Now, despite that subsidy payments, you and I know what has happened in this country in the last 5 months.
Yeah.
The least, I think in December, in January, to buy a liter of petrol is about 500-600 naira. Now, where is that subsidy that the government claimed to have paid on our behalf?
Okay, I think that's an issue which is a topic on its own, which needs to be looked at. But the foundation of subsidy is basically government helping
the citizens,
okay, to reduce the stress on their finances. And like I made known the other time that, for instance, okay, let's still use the petroleum products,
okay,
where we enjoy majorly, as it's been made, subsidy. The real price of petroleum as of today, the real price, when I mean the real price, that's the market price by government,
yes,
is 185, 190,
195
or thereabout. And from the looks of things, from the government's book, to lift petroleum to get to the market is going to cost 290,000 90 naira. That means government is saying they are paying 100 naira per liter, okay, on the subsidy. That is exactly what subsidy is all about. Now to the point that we now begin to buy it even above 290. 290. Okay. That's another issue which we need to look at, and sometimes I don't want to be dwelling on social media opinion or thereabout, because the real organization who can give us real facts are the DPR, are the NMPC as a whole, who knows how much
they are importing,
the fuel is coming in, who knows the landing cost, who knows the amount of subsidy in its entirety. But sometimes you see that the same fuel that should go for 185, 190 is being sold at 300, 400.
I bought 250 this morning.
Which is an issue on its
own.
Which there's been an hearsay. I call it hearsay because we've not had an official publication from these offices. Hearsay that some of these independent marketers choose to lift fuel at the right price, but choose to sell it at the price they would so wish. Which that's why I said is a topic on its own. It's a topic on its own. There has not been an official publication from the government agency who is responsible for the real price, the real subsidy amount and all that. So we may not be able to be dwelling on the ESA and all that until we have the fact. Okay. But it's quite unfortunate.
If we take our time to look at all these indices and we say that, okay, at a point in time, government has paid this subsidy. Now, coming back to the consumers, upon whom the subsidy have been paid, you now say that we now buy times 2 the price expected. Do you understand now?
Yeah, yeah.
And by my own calculation, from my own layman point of view, it amounts to double taxation. And some people are ripping off.
Yeah.
Because they will have used their left hand to collect subsidy here and using the right hand to collect extra charges from us.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let us go far away from our infrastructural development. Yeah. If the government have just taken time, the money they paid on that subsidy, why don't they now put it on the refinery? So that if we get ourselves correct there, then we won't be needing pay anything and subsidy.
You see,
do you understand?
Yeah.
Or is it not possible that way?
I get your point very clearly. However, my personal opinion
is
from looking at what is happening everywhere in the world now, is the fact that government, there's a saying that government has no business in business.
The government has no business in business. Okay?
And the simple reason for that is the fact that government is like soldier go, soldier come, barracks remain. Every government, every party that comes into government has their policy, has their plans. They promise people this is what we want to do, this is how we want to go about it and all that. So in many cases, it's very difficult for continuity in some policies.
Okay,
and that is why
policy transfer from A to B.
Yeah, and that is why business of government has not been profitable over the years. Now, going back to the issue of why can't government use the money of the money paid on the subsidy to do
revamp the refineries.
The world is changing. We currently dwell in more or less a capitalist economy, in which private sector are given opportunity to drive the economy, while government regulates, while government ensure that the proper thing is done on behalf of the populace. At this age and time, I am not seeing, and my personal opinion, I'm still saying, I'm not seeing it as a good thing for government to be doing refinery. The best that could happen to us at the moment now is government to encourage private refinery like Dangote refinery that is coming up. Government has 4 refineries. We have the Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Warri, and I think we have these 4 currently. What I think could happen is the government to partner with private sector on a PPP to run this refinery, because any policy that is made by party A in government, that party may not be in government forever, another party can come in who felt that no, this policy does not work, or who felt that, oh, Mr. A, whom you have chosen as the head of this
refinery, is a member of that political party,
so I have to remove him, put my own person. And in doing that, that's what keeps businesses of government. So the best bet is government to stay off anything that is revenue generating in businesses. Allow the private sector to work in, collect your tax, ensure you regulate it to make it easy for your citizens to enjoy. So if government want to remove subsidy, remove your subsidy once off. And the good thing is this: when you look at the campaign, the presidential campaign that we had a month ago, the current president-elect mentioned it, that come what may is going to remove the subsidy. Why? Because he understands the fact that private sector-led economy is what we need at the moment. Government enterprises has not been profitable. And the reason of not being profitable is not far-fetched. It is my man who is there. The moment party B comes in, remove your man.
Now,
so the point
let's look at it this way. The government will say, okay, yeah, unsolved businesses.
Yeah.
Let it go to the private sector.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
More so when people get involved in all these things, how much of the tax is expected?
Yeah.
Because we've listened to stories that this company has not paid for the past 3 years. This has not remitted to the coffers of the government for the past 5 years. What is the government doing as this?
I think government has no excuse on someone who is not paying tax. Has no excuse. What do I mean by has no excuse? Is the fact that there's an agency of government.
At the federal level, we have the federal land revenue.
Yes, in state we have state inland
revenue, internal revenue.
There's no, since government is not doing the business again, has handed it over to the private sector, it has no excuse for not collecting the right taxes that this organization should pay.
Okay, now
so
going to where
I would not buy it that you now go to the media and say people are not paying. What is the House of Assembly doing? What is the National House of Senate and Rep doing to do their oversight function? What is the Federal Land Revenue doing to do their? So there's no excuse, and that is why we must turn our attention to those who should put these people on toes. If they are not doing, we should reduce our argument on revenue collector alone, or put it on the people who are charged with oversight function. What are they doing themselves? Enough of coming on here and say, oh, your company has not remitted 5-year tax. What have you been watching in the
I think I was driving beside the vehicle yesterday and I saw illegal mining agency or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, I said illegal mining. This is a business that is not done under the ground. Yes. If you go in the sky, you see them they're excavating.
Yes.
Okay, illegal refineries here and there. If you go in the sky, you see them doing this business. Yes. We have a commander who is the commander of army, the commander of navy, the commander of police, and all the rest. Where are these people? And people are breaking away with a lot of billions of naira.
Yes.
And what are they doing?
So unfortunate, and that is why I said we should leave the era of complaints.
So we should push it back to the government.
Definitely. See, we can't, like the saying, you can't eat your cake and
still have it. It's not possible.
The argument is government hands off businesses. The moment government hands off businesses, let them face implementation of policies that will make such business work. One, that will make the citizen have the effects, a positive effect of them handing off businesses. Okay. So in doing so, the oversight function of the legislature on the executive arm, who is responsible for ensuring there is no illegal mining
activities here and there.
Everybody must sit tight. We must leave the era of complaining. Oh, your agency has not done the needful. What are you? Last year they blocked their budget. This is what we are going to use. This is what we are going to use. They promised that they are going to stop illegal mining if this money is allocated to them. Last year, the money is allocated. They did not stop it. Why must you allow them the second year to still go scot-free? And after 5 years, you are now coming to the media and complaining. That is far. Those people are failing the populace. So the point remains that if the economy will work, the different standard of the economy must sit tight.
Okay. Now let's look at power for an example. Right. Power distribution, generation, distribution, and all the rest is a kind of infrastructure we are talking about here.
Yes.
At a point in time, it was government.
Yes.
ECN, NEPA, yes. PHCN, before we now have all these franchises that we're having today. Despite all this,
yes.
This is the fourth night that I'll be sleeping in my house without electricity. Now, I was home yesterday and I saw my wife packing things out of the freezer. Oh, this thing is going to get bad, this is going to get bad. Now, at the end of the day, these people will come around and say, pay your bill.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
These are things that we're talking about. If you give me what I'll be paying for, I'll be ready to pay.
And that's why I made assert the fact that those are failing us in the entirety are those who should do the oversight function.
The government.
Yes. Because, and when I say the government, it is the legislatures. Because sometimes we take away our
the legislatures will make the law, will they implement the law themselves?
They oversight. It's part of their duty. Oversight is that in your MOU with government, you are to provide so hour of electricity.
The question is, sir, the question now is this: how much of this provision, like, okay, we want to hand over to the private sector.
Yes.
This is how much we're going to pay at least for the next 10 years.
Yes.
The government will be doing this, will be doing this, will be doing this.
Yes.
How much of will be doing this is the government doing so that those people will have a stand solid?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
If, you know, let's not trying to digress though, but let's focus on the legislative aspect of it.
Okay.
Because in most cases, we put all the issues on the executive. And when I say the executive is Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission.
And then NRC.
NRC, you know, they regulate all these IBDC, EEC and all that.
And all the rest.
We also have this the Genco, the Disco. You know, these people regulate them. Now we put all the blames. You know, that was why we said government should leave hand in business. That's why they gave this private sector to run. But look at the legislature. What are they supposed to do? Number one is to make laws. Number two is to appropriate budgets, budgetary provision. Number three is to do oversight on every legislative role.
You are giving a naira. How much of this naira have you?
Now, their role is both executive and the private sector to look at their books. Okay. Now, you've taken the MOU for the past 5 years. The MOU say in the next 2 years, you must have done so. Have you done it? Why have you not done it? Two, government side of it, of the MOU, that in the next 1 year of you leaving this business to the private sector, this is what you must have done. Have you done it?
And this is where you're supposed to be.
This is where it's supposed to be.
What is
now, the
failure
of them to have done it the first year, second year, and the third year, the legislature still passed their budget. That means we should blame the legislature.
Now let's come back.
We should stop just looking at the executive as the problem alone. We should also beam our searchlight on the legislature because they own a very powerful role. The oversight function is not just visiting the sites or visiting their business premises or visiting the government offices, but is to ensure that the proper thing is done on behalf of the populace. And if the proper thing is not done, let the whole world know this is what is going on. Then you still have the power of appropriation of budget. Why must you appropriate the budget when you know they are not doing the right thing? So the point remains that when you say government should answer business, at the same time, the function of the government in that must be properly done. And if it's not properly done, we have the legislature who should come in as a balance. To ensure that the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission is doing the needful, the electric distribution company are doing the needful. If they are not doing the needful, they have the power to summon them. And when you summon them, on behalf of Nigeria, you make sure they do the rightful thing. Because until all these issues are being taken seriously, we keep on having the current, and people will now be paying tax, and at the same time, the tax are not transforming to the infrastructure we are looking at.
Okay. Now, I'm coming to Osun State here.
Yes.
The government here, this is working within the first 100 days.
Yes.
He's saying, okay, let me do this.
Yes.
Let me do this. Let me do this. Yes. Hoping that doing such will encourage people to collaborate with the government.
Okay.
Collaboration in terms of doing their own responsibility as well. What's responsibility now? Paying little taxes that you are expected. Now, we need roads.
Yes.
We need water.
Yes.
We need hospitals.
Yes.
We need schools. Yes. Some of these things are being taken care of by this government. Yes. I think as a new government in place now, we need to start talking to our people that, if government is promising this and is doing this, can we do that is expected of us? So I think this is a very good platform to start encouraging people that the money the government will need to do this A, B, and Z will not fall from heaven. It's going to come from revenue that the government will generate internally. So thinking about this, I think we need to encourage our people henceforth.
you know, the truth we must all be bold to tell ourselves.
Okay.
Is until we all see, get to a point as a state that with or without federal allocation, we can do something.
We can do something.
That is one. Every population, I mean, the citizens are becoming more wiser.
Okay.
By the day. Even look at the last election, the presidential election. It has never been like this. That you see 3 major contenders sharing the number of states equally. That tells you the political exposure. That tells you the expectation of the citizen. Now looking at a state, nobody cares about what you promise any longer. People care about what you do.
Nobody bothers about what you promise.
Oh, I'm going to do this.
I'm going to give you, no, give me first.
Let's see
what you have.
You see, you can't begin to call people to pay tax. You can't begin to call people to do this and that if you are, because every leader, government is the leader.
Okay.
A leader must, like it's been said by
coming to equity with a clean hand.
Maxwell. He said a leader must know the way, must go the way, and show the way. Now, the first thing a leader, a government must do is to actually tell the people, I know the way. This is the way we can go. That is 1. 2. Now begin to do a practical showing,
working on the way.
Working on the way. When you are working on the way, then people will follow you. Do you understand? People will follow you willingly. I keep saying the history of Lagos. Oshodi is one of the terrible aspects of Lagos in those days, where you can't walk freely. You either you see the area boys tormenting you, or your everywhere is messy. A person of
Don't take me back to Oshodi again. Don't take me back to Oshodi.
A person of Fashional comes.
Okay.
Do the transformation of that place, remove everything hidden in that Oshodi, demystify any hidden thing, open it up. Oshodi now become a place that you can now see afar, unlike before that you can hardly see what is coming. So if they are fighting in front, you may not know. Now Ambode came in, did a transformation of the transportation aspect of it, in which instead of you waiting on the road, you can now enter a very befitting environment to catch your bus. That tells you that, you know, they did not wait until government people begin to pay tax before they begin to do that initiation.
Okay.
Now the initiative made people to pay, because when you now enter a very beautiful place to catch bus, in the bus fare you are paying, you are directly paying tax.
Tax, yeah.
Because you are seeing the value for the money.
It is.
And that is why before a government begin to come in that people should pay tax, people should do the show the way. We are not animals. We are human, and we love good things. And the moment we begin to see the sincerity of that good thing, people will follow. And that is, and we keep saying Lagos, because you are seeing that practical example. It's not because Lagos has the money alone. I keep telling people, it's not because they have the money or they have the population, but they have leaders,
initiatives
that people they know what people, and that is why I want to wrap up. I want to wrap up on that any government that is serious enough will not just come to power and begin to work. You must think of what do people need. Has there been any need assessment?
Okay.
If you want to do 100 days in office, what is the need assessment? What do people need? Not what you think you can just bring, just so that in 100 days you must see me to have done something. No. And that's why we all get things wrong. If you do not get to power, the first thing you want to do is, let's do borrow, let's do this. Do people need the borrow?
Don't people need it? We need water. That's the question I'm saying. They're basic things.
And that's the question I'm saying.
Okay.
Do people need? If yes, now it is necessary. Now it will not be difficult for people when they see the borrow to pay tax.
Okay. Now it has started happening. We expect more of this. And we want collaboration, yes. We want interaction between people and government, yes. So that we will tell them what we need and they will give us what we need. Absolutely. And then we continue to grow at that level. This is where we're going to have a break this morning. The program is still on. Another segment will be coming your way. And Monday, we'll come back here and we'll continue to discuss on things that is germane to the growth and development of our society. I want to say good morning, and before then, I say thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. So, bye.
All'interno dell'area di rigore, vediamo, sono tutti dentro l'area, parte Cataldi, Brignoli, non ci credo, Brignoli di testa, è pareggiato per il Benevento, non ci credo, ha segnato il portiere del Benevento, Alberto Brignoli, colpo di testa e tutto il Vigorino è impazzito.